One, two, three, the lawn feed.
Welcome to another episode of the Lawn Feed Podcast. Collectively, we are three dads with a strong passion for lawn care. We deliver everything lawn care to you in a simplified, easy to listen to way, in a space where all experience levels are welcome, egos are left at the door, successes are celebrated, and there are no failures. Here we call them learning moments. I am Chris from It's Mo Time, whatever my name is, and I am joined by Andrew from the Dad Bod Lawn.
Evening.
What's up? And Vince from Rooted Lawn Co.
Howdy.
We have a really kind of a cool episode for you guys today. Something we've, I guess, never done before. I think we've never done this before. Might be a first thing. We have an exclusive inaugural Mo Time mailbag episode where all we're going to do is read the entire mailbag. Well, not the entire one, but we've got a laundry list full of questions that we are going to help answer from our audience base. So we're going to get into that. But first, let's thank a couple people. Vince, what do you got?
Yeah. Thank you to our great friends over at Twin City Seed for powering this episode and this season of the Lawn Feed podcast. They are built on a reputation of superior service, accuracy, and sustainability with custom blending and packaging, high performance product, meaning high elite grass seed. We love it. It's huge. And a team of dedicated experts. They are actually bringing out some super heavy hitters. The past 3 episodes, we've talked about this. We are super pumped about this because we all like dark green grass and we all want to have the darkest lawn on the block. Well, Twin City Seed, they heard it and they answered. Let's talk about Nightfall. Nightfall is a 70-30 Kentucky bluegrass perennial ryegrass, which has the darkest cultivars on the market. And not just dark cultivars, but they are also high ranking NTEP cultivars. So go take a look at those. And that label, I just got mine delivered. My front lawn is going to be transitioned to this, and I am pumped. And then Tough Turf, which is just notorious for its homeowner, low input, amazing shade-friendly grass. They made this into an After Dark series. So now it's also going to be stupid dark. It is a tri-blend of perennial ryegrass, tall fescue, and Kentucky bluegrass. And like I mentioned before, shade tolerant, low inputs, less maintenance, but it's just a stupid dark lawn. Excited to see the results of these. I know this has been a very popular one. A lot of people have been buying this up, which brings me to the point that they are limited. There's only a certain amount of grass seed for these 2 blends for this year. So when it's gone, it's gone. And depending on how you guys like it, it might be back 2025. But Twin City Seed is North America's leader in giving DIYers the highest quality premium and elite grass seed for your next project, which is Renovations, Overseeds, patches, you name it. Save money on grass seed by using our code. We give you 10% off the lawn, or not the lawn feed, just Lawn Feed 10. That'll get you 10% off. And as always, look at the banner on the website of Twin City Seed where they have different promos running and the free ship 24, which gets you free shipping. Twin City Seed proudly serves all of North America. Check them out at www.twincityseed.com and www.twincityseed.ca.
Canada.
Appreciate you adding those 3 W's at the front there.
Well, I just didn't want to confuse anybody.
Yeah, no, I've had people message me. They're like, is there W's or no?
Yeah, well, it's a good question.
I'm kidding. I haven't had that question.
It's a solid question. Speaking of questions, we have to open up our Mo Time mailbag.
It's time for the Mo Time mailbag.
Join us as we reach deep into the mailbag and answer your questions. If you would like to have a question answered on the Lawn Feed podcast, head to thelawnfeed.com and submit a question.
That deserves to be at least a top 40 hit.
It does.
At least 1 week out of some year. That's pretty baller.
Yeah.
So Multi-mailbag. We've done this on a couple episodes. We've never had a full dedicated episode to it. We have a lot of questions to answer tonight. The first one coming up from Packerland from Adam M. Whoa.
You kick your camera or something? Hey, buddy.
All right.
Anyways, you were about to read something from Cheeseland.
Packerland. Adam M. from northeastern Wisconsin. Title is Recommendations on a Dethatcher. Hi, all. I am from northeastern Wisconsin, and I have a question for you. My lawn is full of bare patches and weeds, and I think it needs to be dethatched, scarified. This hasn't been done in the 9 years that we've lived here. Curious if you have any recommendations on a dethatcher or scarifier that won't break the bank. Appreciate any advice. Thank you in advance. What do we have for Adam?
I think there's two really good options. Well, there's more than two, but here's the two categories: rent one, buy one. So you can
Is
rent.
is that one category or two?
Is this a rent one, buy one, kill one? Is that
Yeah,
how this thing goes?
So rent one to be $45, $50 maybe, if you have a truck or something, and rent it for the day, and you rent a power rake and you're good to go. Or if you think that you're going to use this more frequently, not just every 9 years, then buy one. Sunjoe has one. Greenworks has
Ryobi.
one. Does Ryobi have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So those three, have you guys used any of them?
Sunjoe.
I've used all of them.
Corded Sunjoe. But if you're already running a battery program with like Ryobi or Ryobi, sorry, and you have compatible batteries already, you can get the battery cordless ones, which are kind of helpful. Dragging the cords around are kind of a pain, but it's also going to help you with the savings too with the Sunjoe corded stuff. But
yeah, I was about to say it depends on if you want to lug a cord around. That has historically not been an issue for me. And if you don't, your alternative is 18 volts, two 18-volt batteries in the Ryobi one, which is like my only knock on that thing. Because it is really nice to have a residential dethatcher that does not have a cord.
What's the runtime?
I'm being honest, if you're gonna go do a reno, guys, go rent out a power rig.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are beastly.
They beat it up. They do.
For 40, like for once a year. And if you're gonna go do a seeding project, like it serves as it can almost serve as like a slit seeder too, because it does that, and it's like that's what I use for all of my multi makeovers.
And find a neighbor you can coordinate with. I actually last time I rented something like that, he borrowed it. Same thing with like a aerator, any of that stuff that you go out and rent. I mean, you get it for 4 hours. You get yours done in an hour, whatever. You got time. Let somebody else split the cost.
Yep. Where to rent? Because that would be a follow-up question I think a lot of people would have. Landscape supply company, not a landscape supply company, equipment rental company. You could probably just look that up locally. There's a whole bunch of them.
Home Depots actually around me have rental equipment.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not all of them. Not all of them, but there's some of them do.
A lot of dealers will have them too. Call around and ask. So hopefully that helps out. You can get a lot of different options. It's a very popular option, but all those, I don't know if we mentioned this, but all of those other dethatchers are between $100 and $199. Most likely. Find a deal on Amazon or something like that. A little bit cheaper. So, good question. Next one, Zach G from Logan, Utah. Title is Yard Reno. Can I scalp, aerate, dethatch, overseed, and top dress all at the same time?
That would be very impressive if you could do that all at the same time.
It would be. But what I think he means is, can I do those in one day?
Yeah.
Would be my best guess.
If you have the time.
Great practice. Absolutely.
The answer is absolutely yes.
I think that's a great process for overseeding. I think you just named step by step what ideally if you had the time and means to do it.
I would probably switch the aerate and dethatch. And go scalp, dethatch, aerate, top dress, overseed, wada.
Maybe roll it if you want to get crazy.
Yep.
Another common question that I get is, if we overseed, can I top dress over it?
Well, how
Why
thick?
or why not, Vince?
So, top dressing, as far as like just like a dusting of organic matter, like compost, yeah, maybe if it's like an eighth of an inch, like literally a dusting. But if you're going super heavy, you don't want to be burying your seed so too deep. So it's always best to seed last.
Good. But yeah, it's a good question. You can absolutely do all of those things. Just make sure it's in the right order. And what Vince said was scalp, dethatch, aerate, top dress, overseed. And Andrew with the optional lawn rolling. Question 3 comes from Zach, another Zach, but different Zach, because this is from Atwater, Ohio. Title is Crazy Lawn Guy. And hang tight, this is a long question. So, ... Recently moved to my wife's family's farmhouse on 5 acres. First off, I'm super jealous. 3.5 acres were previously farmland. Last May, yes, spring seeding, I planted an elite 50-50 Kentucky bluegrass perennial ryegrass blend in those 3.5 acres. Somehow it looks like 98% of the field growth was actually the Kentucky bluegrass. Around the house, I had a true Ohio mix of mostly tall fescue and K31, and other tall fescue with some Kentucky bluegrass. Last fall, I overseeded with Kentucky bluegrass and loved what I saw late fall and at the green up. This spring, I went back to an elite tall fescue blend, overseed, and I am in love with what I did around the house, and that's where there is a touch shade. I have started a small putting green. Cool. I have started a small putting green in what I consider a small field of dreams, which is a regulation size softball infield in the new Kentucky bluegrass. Aside from those low mow areas, am I crazy? I think this is the question. Am I crazy if I keep adding turf type tall fescue, or would you fellas recommend a blend or KBG overseed this fall? I personally enjoy a nice 3.5 to 4 inch soft cut, but my lovely wife grew up on high clover concentrated lawn mowed super low. I don't know if that is what he had meant to say or not.
Yeah.
But I enjoy being the only green lawn in late July.
Yeah. So it sounds like his wife just likes it low, like whatever it is.
Like a low cut.
Low cut.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my 2 cents on the matter. Absolutely. I think adding turf type tall fescue is a great option for those non low cut areas. Like he said, not for the infield, not for the putting green.
Mhm.
But if you're introducing like the new cultivars of turf type tall fescue, they actually prefer to be cut at like 2.5 inches.
A little shorter.
Yeah, so shorter. And as you guys have seen, Cam from Elevated he's been like sub 2 this year, and it's doing
Is he
great.
reeling? Is he real mowing that?
I think he is. Oh, he's just rotary.
Not
But
yet.
regardless, that the new cultivars of turf type tall fescue do really well at those lower heights. So if you want to cut it at 2.5 inches, not a problem at all. And that's going to help with your drought tolerance, and it'll be nice, a nice dark green as well. So I'm all for it, but I want to hear your guys' opinion too.
No, I'd agree. I'd say you get in with some of these newer cultivars, like the Blue Resilience, which has some Kentucky Blue in it, or just straight Resilience too. And that's your tall fescue. It's drought tolerant, low maintenance, but just looks like $1,000,000, and you can mow it lower, and have an awesome lawn.
The other thing he said is, I enjoy being the only green lawn here in late July, and that was going to be my 2 cents. Tall fescue will thrive and you're in Ohio, will thrive in your area in mid to late summer, when all the other lawns are checking out for the year. Not for the year, but for the summer, because they're going dormant and struggling to stay green.
Especially with that amount of grass you're trying to maintain. I don't imagine that's irrigated. So your Kentucky bluegrass is going to really be struggling probably this time of year, July, August, the really hot times. So I think turf type tall fescue overseed would be a splendid idea if you're up for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. That sounds like a fun little venture. Field of Dreams, softball infield. What did he say? In a small putting green. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Sounds like we need to go to Zach's place in Atwater, Ohio, and have
Yeah.
a field day, quite literally. But
no doubt.
Good question. Good question. Sounds like fun. And send us pictures, man. That sounds like, in all of you guys, if you guys have a question on this stuff, like, pictures are always great. But if you guys are doing projects like this, like, it'd be so cool to see some before and afters, and like
tag
share
us
some
on
of your journey with
Instagram,
us.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
love to see it.
love to see it. So, speaking of, I guess not speaking of Instagram, but real quick, I want to thank our friends over at WaySafe Trailer Hitches. WaySafe is the only trailer hitches on the market built with built-in scales to measure tongue weight to ensure the safest towing experience possible to keep you and your family safe while towing. We have hooked up with them in a partnership where we can save you 15% off on your entire order at way-safe.com by entering promo code TLF15. That's TLF15 at checkout for 15% off on your order at way-safe.com. Super cool trailer hitches.
Mm-hmm.
Super
awesome.
quality product. Go check them out. Guys,
I know what you're gonna say already.
title is Grass Seed. It is from Larson, and Larson has emailed us from goddamn Alaska.
I looked it up, and then it's up there, like near Anchorage, Alaska.
I mean, Anchorage isn't even that, like, that's South Alaska, I feel like, isn't it? I don't know Alaskan geography at all, actually, but I don't think Anchorage is in the north part of Alaska.
Do you know where Juneau is?
Yeah.
Well, do you know that? Honestly, that you knew that.
So I'm a hockey guy, right?
Oh,
and like, the only reason
I
I kind of know geography is because they've got hockey up there. Wasilla?
We'll see you later.
Wasilla, Alaska. Wasilla, Wasilla. Wherever that is, I don't care. He's emailing Larson. I guess I'm assuming it's a he. Could be a she. Alaska.
Well, what do they want to know?
That's badass. They want to know, say, hey guys, I love the podcast. It's helped me out a lot as a homeowner, trying to get my lawn in shape. I've seen a few videos of you guys doing pre-germination with grass seed and mixing it with a fertilizer like Milorganite or some other granular product, broadcasting it in a spreader. Have you guys tried this, and what do you think about it? That's a damn good question.
It is a good question. Do you want me to take it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
I've personally only done it like twice, so.
Right.
So let's see here. First is he's seen it. There's other products. Have you guys tried this, and what do you think of it? I have tried it. I've tried it with Kentucky Bluegrass, and it's a lot of extra work for not a whole lot of extra results, in my opinion. So my light died. So you basically are submerging it for X amount of hours and then pulling it out and letting it, just marinate for the next couple of set of hours, and then you come back, you rinse it, and you just repeat that for the next 2-3 days. And then after you get it out of the water and you're going to spread it, you got to let it dry out just a little bit. And then you're mixing your Milorganite. I tried it with Carbon Pro G from Site 1, and that is too powdery, and it did not spread well at all. It gunked up the spreader and just did not work well at all. I did try it again with some Milorganite, and the Milorganite was the key.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It just had a heavier granule, but it was still small. And then also, just like with your seeding, make sure you have the exact amount of seed that you need and put that in the spreader, because once you start adding additional material, it can get confusing as to thinking that, I'm applying way too heavy. it just throws your calibration off a little bit. So just make sure that you know that, hey, if this is 2,000 square feet, I have 3 pounds, and I need to put this whole 3 pounds over this, regardless of how much mold organite I have in there.
So
Were the results anything stunning? No, I still feel like I feel like I didn't have great results when I did my pre-germination.
what did you do that with? What seed?
Uh,
What kind of
365 SS,
So Kentucky bluegrass.
Kentucky bluegrass.
That was my question, because that's an incredibly long germination
Yeah.
time, depending on. So I feel like that for me, like if you're doing like perennial ryegrass, which is a fast germination to begin with, I probably wouldn't do a pre-germination. It's not really a point, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at like a tall fescue, Kentucky bluegrass for sure would be what I would be most intrigued with.
I did tall fescue this spring.
How did that go?
Pre-germinated. I think it was 5-day process before I started to see the little green in the cracking of the seed, and then I spread it. The way I did it, I filled bare spots. I did my dog pea spots this way, and you don't need to add mill organite for that. But I wanted to add a little bit of fertilizer just to those spots where they was getting fresh seeds. So I did actually hand mix it with mill organite, and it did feel like it did a good consistency for spreading, which I wasn't doing. But some spots I noticed like a day and a half, 2 days later, there was germination that I was seeing. Other spots, it just kind of seemed like it took like 3 or 4 days still. It was kind of, but mind you, this was towards the end of spring where it started to get pretty hot. And that was another reason why I wanted to try pre-germinating, was because I was at the end of that window. So I wanted to, make sure it germinated faster and didn't have to water it as much and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of agree with Vince. I don't know if you really get that much benefit out of it as far as time savings, but it's kind of a cool experiment to try. And maybe, and there's different processes people have out there. And the one that Jordan from the Lawn Tools has a couple good videos about it.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. So some people soak it all the time, the entire time. No, you soak it for the first 24 hours. You take it out, you rinse it with some fresh water, and then you let it air dry in a bucket. Just let it sit with no water for 24 hours. And the next day, soak it fresh water for like 5-10 minutes. Let it air dry for the next 24 hours in a bucket, and you just keep doing that same process until you see the green germination happening.
Yeah. That was from Spin Martin, who we had on before.
Okay.
He was
He
talking
helped Jordan
about
a lot with that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, all that time that you spend doing that, if it's a small spot, maybe, but grab yourself a Melanor Bluetooth timer or regular timer, set up your zones of sprinklers because you need to water it anyway, and just set it, forget it. And
See, for me, I feel like it's more beneficial for spot seeding if you're going to do pre-germinating, because you don't want to have to water your entire lawn for like small patches.
Spot maybe.
But if you're spreading it with a spreader like Larson's asking, you might as well just water the whole lawn because you have to anyways.
Right.
So the other question, and I just don't know the answer to this, so this is more so just an open forum, but we're sitting here in the middle of July. There are problem areas in our lawns.
Mm-hmm.
And in mine is where I dug up my side yard. There's a couple spots that didn't take as well. And I was thinking about doing pre-germination because of what Andrew just said. And I don't want the rest of the lawn to just be this like diseased triangle, like pit of disease, right? It's just like the little area that I need to get seeded. Would pre-germination help in the middle of summer, or should someone wait to just fix that in the fall? There's a perfect world scenario answer, but can it be done?
You could try, because perennial rye will germinate pretty quick.
But for
you're
any
still
other
going to
one,
need to water that little spot. And the second you don't get on there and that sun beats on it, it's toast anyway.
Right.
If it's midsummer, I pretty much cut my losses and just wait till fall.
Yeah.
Or cut sod like Vince has recently.
I did. I cut sod and put sod down, and one little section of the sod's kind of toasty, but
Yeah, you still got to keep that watered pretty
Yeah.
good too, but you're going to have better results than trying to grow grass, I think, midsummer.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, cool. Well, thanks for listening in Alaska. That's super awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
That it's cool for us to see like where all these questions are coming in, and Alaska has never come in. So that's super, super awesome. Keep them coming. All right. Soil sample from Jare. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. From Fort Wayne, Indiana. I recently did a soil test. Vince, this is up your alley, brother. The soil test for fertility for my lawn was a 4 for nitrogen, 2 for phosphate, 3 for potash, and a high pH. I'm a newbie at lawn care and want to begin transitioning my lawn correctly. Looking at the Blue Resilience, Tall Fescue, and Kentucky Bluegrass mixture from Twin Cities Seed, they are recommending an a fertilizer containing iron. What do you suggest for fertilizer, and should I wait to start this project in the fall? I currently have crabgrass and weeds. Is it okay to overseed? Look forward to your feedback.
well,
So let's start here.
fertilizer.
Let's start here. What do you suggest for fertilizer, and should I wait to start this project in the fall?
Yes. Wait until the fall. And as far as fertilizer, I would highly recommend you use, if you have a Site 1, go for their starter fertilizer with mesotrione in it. If you just have big box stores, check out Scott's starter fertilizer with mesotrione in it. The mesotrione is going to help prevent other weeds from germinating. It's safe for your grass during time of germination. And then the current crabgrass issue, have quinclorac with methylated seed oil. That's the route if you have a sprayer, and again, Site 1, they have it, or go to a big box store, grab something that says kills crabgrass but safe on grass, and start knocking that out now. You don't want to overseed anything when you have a plethora of weeds, because the weeds are just going to continue to grow as you fertilize and water them, and it's going to choke out that seed, which means you are going to waste your money by just throwing your seed down.
And make sure you treat that crabgrass far enough in advance too, because there is a window after spraying.
Read the label.
Yeah, read the label. A lot of times it should straight up say safe to seed after 3-4 weeks, whatever, so.
And we've talked about this on a bunch of different episodes, but realistically speaking, if you're at the start of your journey, give yourself 12 to 18 months to get it how you dream of. Right? Don't try to get this thing in 4 weeks. Don't try to get this thing next month or whatever it is. Give yourself time and realistically get a plan together. But good insight. Next question from Evan in Blaine, Minnesota. What's up, neighbor? Title is Clumpy Non-Uniform Lawn. And there's pictures, so we're gonna put this up for those watching. There are in my backyard, it has many clumps of grass with thick, stocky blades that make the yard look non-uniform. The clumps are darker looking than the rest of the grass, which I believe are Kentucky bluegrass, and are a real eyesore that can easily stand out. What is the best way to get rid of these clumpy grass types and get the lawn looking more uniform? It is not Kentucky bluegrass.
No.
It looks like a tall, but I can see why you say that. It's usually just fescue, clumping fescue or something like that. Is generally, and I'm 30 minutes away from this guy.
Well, I think what he was saying is his grass is Kentucky bluegrass because it looks darker than the rest of the grass, which I believe is Kentucky bluegrass.
Oh,
okay,
good call.
So yeah. So I think he knows that that is not Kentucky bluegrass; it's something else.
Classic case of.
That's why there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes an army, man. Takes an army.
So he's asking how to get rid of this, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So it's easy. The answer is easy. You're not going to
Yeah.
like the answer, but the answer is easy. So what is it?
You can either kill it with glyphosate, like weed and grass killer, or you dig it up by hand. Unfortunately, there is no selective herbicide that will smoke that stuff out just by spraying your whole lawn.
I mean, if you kill that one spot, you might as well kill your whole lawn and do a full renovation. So
yeah,
you might as
just
well
tell your wife the lawn feed told you.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, if you are going to kill these spots to make if there's a lot of them, it would be best to kind of do a mini
overseed.
renovation. Like, so you're scalping your lawn, you're dethatching your whole lawn, and you're overseeding and stuff and fertilizing that way. You're kind of adding in all the same seed, unless you know what exactly you have in the rest of your lawn.
Right.
Just because then if you plant some new type of grass seed in that little
Right.
hole, it's
gonna look
be different again.
If you're gonna get some quality tough turf after dark, it's gonna be that same color, just a different texture.
Yeah. So my advice would be treat the whole yard. Well, back up, kill the spots, but treat the whole yard with the same seed. That way it looks uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think basically spot seed those spots you kill, overseed everything else, and then going forward use that same seed for overseeds in the future too. So it kind of just slowly makes it even more uniform, because that's what you're looking for, is a nice uniform lawn. So clumpy fescue is a pain.
Good news for Evan here is he's only about a country mile, if that, as they say, from Twin City Seeds. So you can go and get all of the things that he needs from them to go do that project in the fall.
Go talk to them in person. Good people.
Oh yeah. Constantine from Charlotte, North Carolina. Warm season question. On getting rid of Bermuda. Hi guys, need tips on getting rid of common Bermuda in my Kentucky bluegrass lawn. So semi-warm season. Here's the catcher, without using a non-selective herbicide.
It's called Soul Stealer. No, I lied. Yeah, no. I can't
tell if you're being serious or not.
I thought there was a joke coming.
No,
there
it's true. I don't think you can kill Bermuda without killing what's around that. So it's called Soul Stealer. It's a concoction. You can probably see some threads on the lawn forum on this, but I believe it's Fusilade, Roundup, and Mesotrione. It's not cheap, but
it's like jungle juice for grass.
Is that legal?
Yeah. But
13 states.
You need to do the applications early and give it plenty of time, because most times you're going to have to kill the Bermuda a couple times. Now, if this is a big area, that means you're killing your whole lawn. So
yeah, well,
you might as well
Bermuda's in there. It very well could be.
And the chances are that you do all this, and next season Bermuda's coming back.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to get rid of Bermuda. Bermuda is an alpha grass. So one thing you could do is, if you want, you can kill that and just put in a different type of Bermuda. That way it's still Bermuda, it's still alpha, and overseed into that like a blue Muda, and have a blue Muda lawn. So you're having Kentucky bluegrass and a higher quality Bermuda grass in there.
That's
and then
my dream.
Yeah,
get some of those dwarf Bermudas.
Yeah. I think that could be a good bet. I'm not an expert on Bermuda grass form season, but
so we're going to refer you straight to the source on someone who can directly answer this in your neighborhood. The Lawn Dad, TJ, is down there. And he's the Bermuda dude. Like, he is the Bermuda guy.
He's been helping my buddy out a lot in North Carolina too.
He'll know exactly how to answer that question. So, and he'll get back to you if you throw a message his way.
Is it sad that I really want global warming to happen faster, so that someday before I die, I can have Bermuda in Michigan. Is that like selfish?
coming.
Global warming isn't real, so you're going to
Oh,
push for a
Jesus
long
Christ.
term.
Okay, next
There we
question.
go.
Aaron.
Moving on to Aaron F. from Detroit, Michigan. Your name, your guy, Andrew.
It's the opposite side of the state, but I'll still.
Yeah, he's
work
your
with it,
guy
so.
though.
Okay.
Big Detroit guy.
Polar bears.
Nitrogen with Yara. Love the podcast, guys. Great job. Thank you for listening. Listening to the episode about nitrogen. I love the info from the Yara rep on nitrogen and soil temps. Being in Michigan, soil temps would be a problem. Being in Michigan, spring soil temps would be a problem. I can't seem to find any Yara products for sale or something similar. All I can find is urea products. My question is, would liquid nitrogen in spring have been a better uptake to green up versus granular urea and waiting for soil temps to warm up? Sorry if my typing is off. I'm doing this from my phone and can't see LOL. Thanks. Aaron F. from Detroit.
Oh, it's those Michigan people.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take this, Vince, because I feel like this is maybe something you'd be better off.
So I believe Dr. Shaddix recently did an episode talking about foliar uptake and granular versus liquid. Take a look at his channel. What is his channel? Let me tell you. Tell you in a second.
This is great airtime, by the way.
Turf, grass, appeasy. It's cut off. Pestomology. Turf, grass, pestomology. Take a look at that, and see that. So, I gotta pause and just reread this. All I can find is urea products. My question is liquid nitrogen, spring. So, springtime. Yes, I believe that if you did an application of liquid, you're going to see a quicker result from that application in the spring, only because liquid is fully absorbed versus the granular is going to take a little bit longer to absorb and start working. It might not be much longer with that granular urea, but I think liquid is always quicker. But go check out his episode on that, and it'll be a little bit. It'll make more sense than coming from me, because I am not an expert on these different types. But as far as Yara products, reach out to Site One. Go to Yara's Instagram page, shoot them a DM, say, "Hey, I'm trying to buy Yara products, and I can't seem to find it." Talk to the local landscape. If you have a couple big landscaping companies by you, talk to them. I'm sure they would know where to find it, or chances are they have some that they can sell you because they buy in bulk. So those are some options too to find Yara products.
Well, and like he said too, it's Yara fertilizer, but marketed maybe as something different, right?
Yeah.
So, good suggestions. Last one for this episode is from Dan H. In my neck of the woods again in Minnesota. Title is Fall Seeding Pre-Germination. Let's see if this is hopefully not any repeats here, but longtime listener and follower, first time writer. Well, thank you for being a longtime listener and a first time writer. We appreciate it. We encourage you all to write more, and we love the questions and letting us know where you're from and asking us all of the things that you want to ask us about. First, I want to say thank you for all of the great info. I've learned so much from you three. That's a lie. You've learned a lot from the other two, probably not myself. But looking to try my hand at pre-germination this fall, be using some high quality Twin City seed Kentucky bluegrass. Should have waited to ask my question. What is the best method? What is the best method to get the best outcome? Thanks so much. So a little bit of rinse and repeat here, but
don't do it.
Kentucky bluegrass. So specifically on Kentucky bluegrass in the fall in Minnesota, you're talking could be 100 degrees, could be god dang 70 degrees with lows in the 40s. What do you do?
I guess my kind of what we had already touched on. Are you looking to spot seed, or are you looking to do the whole thing? I mean, that Twin Cities seed, Kentucky bluegrass, that stuff germinates faster than people's traditional.
It depends what he's buying, though.
Yeah,
High quality Twin
High
City
quality.
seed KBG. So let's just assume it's a total eclipse blend or something.
Which some of those have Mazama and stuff in it, which tend
which would
to
take a little bit
longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can certainly try your hand at the pre-germination if you want.
I have an episode. Jordan from Lawn Tools has an episode. Spin Martin has stuff. If you type in on Google, it'll go to. I can't think of the name of the.
Pro Turf Talks.
Yeah, Pro Turf Talks. They'll tell you, but there's different methods to do it. But we mentioned this a little bit earlier, so it's going to be redundant. But you're soaking it, you're leaving it dry out a little bit, and you're doing that until you start to see some germination. This could help you with the Kentucky bluegrass because it does, 10 to 21 days, maybe longer, depending on weather, like Chris said. So I would just make sure that you give yourself plenty of time where if things don't take, that you still have time to be able to overseed and establish a lawn, and you're not cutting it off like, shoot, I only have 2 weeks until first frost and stuff, because then you're gonna be hurting. So just give yourself plenty of time to do this project. Use Milorganite. That is the best medium to be able to spread the pre-germinated grass seed as well. And don't dump your dirty water on your lawn, because that dirty water will kill your lawn. And when I say dirty water, I mean the water that your seed's been sitting in. And don't drink it.
I feel like one thing that's like difficult about pre-germinating grass seed is the grass seed tells you when it's time to put it on the lawn, and you like need to do it in 24 hours because you don't want it to over germinate in those buckets. So the thing with the Kentucky bluegrass is that it might be 7 days in the buckets, or it could be 10 days or 14. You just don't know when that grass seed is going to be ready. But you have to be flexible and available. And I think as far as the three of us go, being married with kids, jobs, it's hard to have that kind of flexibility and availability sometimes. So sometimes it's just easier to say, I'm doing my lawn project on next Saturday.
Right.
Weather pending, obviously, but
Yeah, just know what you're getting into, just like everything else, right? I think it can be good, can go haywire. You just got to know what you're getting into and have a plan B, right? Like Vince said. So
absolutely.
Well, cool, guys. This was a fun episode. Before we wrap, be sure to go check out thelawnfeed.com. Check out some amazing lawn gear to elevate your set of lawn shirts, sweatshirts, and much more. Use promo code BRAD15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order. On behalf of the Lawn Feed crew, thank you for joining us on another great episode. For this one on the Mow Time Mailbag, stay safe out there. Good luck in this week's venture of parenthood, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
It's time for the Mow Time Mailbag.
Join us as we reach deep into the mailbag and answer your questions. If you would like to have a question answered on the Lawn Feed podcast, head to thelawnfeed.com and submit a question.
Woo!
Mailbag, it's time for the Mow Time Mailbag.
Bye-bye.
See you.